Once upon a time, in a small village almost abandoned in the mountains of Limousin, Piemonte, lived some families with children mostly between 7 and 8 years old. Among them, Giorgio was one of the most curious. When winter arrived and snow fell heavily, Giorgio walked in the forest while the light began to fade. When he stopped to observe the largest snowflakes falling from the sky, his curiosity led him to wonder where snow comes from and who creates it. At that moment he heard a rustle among the trees, almost as if someone was watching him. The snowflakes fell silently, but Giorgio felt that something magical was about to happen. Suddenly a small glow appeared among the branches, and it was a flickering light like that of a fairy lantern. Driven by curiosity, the boy approached the light and discovered a tiny being with a pointed hat and sparkling eyes. It was the snow elf, an invisible inhabitant of the forest. Giorgio gently approached the elf and asked him why snow exists. At first the elf was not friendly. He said with a mysterious voice that Giorgio had crossed the border of the silent forest, and only those who know the secret of snow can go beyond this barrier where the elves live. Giorgio said that he did not know the secrets of the forest and kindly repeated his question about the mystery of how snow is born. At that point a challenge began between the boy and the elf. To discover the origin of snow, Giorgio had to prove himself worthy of that knowledge by solving a riddle, overcoming a small test, or performing a kind gesture. The elf looked at the boy with sparkling eyes and said that only those who can listen to the whisper of snow will know its secret. He gave Giorgio a riddle. If he answered correctly, he would reveal the truth, but if he failed, snow would remain a mystery. The riddle was this: it is born without shape, each time different but also the same. It is light as breath but can cover entire mountains. If the sun looks at it too long, it disappears. What is it? The boy thought while watching the snowflakes falling. Before he could answer, the wind suddenly rose. The flickering light of the elf faded and the elf seemed worried. He whispered that they were coming. Giorgio asked who they were. The elf said they were a group of winter spirits and then disappeared into the mist and wind. Giorgio returned home with a little sadness and decided to go back to the forest. Meanwhile, he observed the snowflakes with a magnifying glass and saw how perfect they were. Both small and large always formed the same design, like a white star of refined lace, just like the ones his grandmother made with the bobbin lace tool that requires great manual skill. The next day he returned to the forest and decided to bring a gift for the elf because it was almost Christmas and Giorgio thought of Santa Claus elves. He brought a game he loved very much. Arriving in the forest, nothing happened, so Giorgio wrote on the snow that if the elf returned he would give him his favorite game. He remembered that this was the second test requested by the elf, a kind action. Magically the elf reappeared and, already knowing Giorgio's question, began to explain that snow is born from the gentle breath of clouds which turn into small dancing ice crystals. But originally snow was a gift from the winter spirits who paint the world white to let it rest and prepare for spring. He added, reading from an ancient text, that once there was a girl who lived in those mountains and who disappeared in the ice of a lake. Her soul wandered among the stars and each of her tears became a snowflake light as a feather falling to earth to make children happy with their snowball games. Finally the elf told Giorgio that if he believed in the magic of elves he could listen to one story every day until Christmas. So Giorgio went every day to that corner of the forest to meet the elf. The magic of snow remained for him always true, unique and extraordinary. He understood that snow is one of the many gifts of the universe which is made of numbers, music and beauty, just like the beauty of a simple snowflake. A universe rich and benevolent, full of peace and love. Only children have the ability to see the elves of the forest and to dream and then create all possible worlds and even impossible ones, not only at Christmas.